Hey guys, it's Sam. Welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a lot different than anything I've done. I am not going to be showing off any hauls, no makeup, nothing like that. A lot of you guys have been asking me to sort of film day in the life videos or to check it ready with me videos, which I actually did try and film. So hopefully that makes it up to you guys. And a couple of you have just been saying like, I'm really, really relatable. You find my personality is really, really sweet and endearing and that sort of a thing. And it made me kind of realize, like, not that I'm not that way or whatever, but it made me realize that you guys really don't know a lot about me, with the exception of what sort of comes up with the fact that I love makeup or what slips out when I'm talking about makeup every once in a while. So I thought that today I would put together a 50 facts video about myself and let you guys get to know me a little bit better. This is some random facts, some just like normal things that like you guys might just want to know about me, just things that I feel like all of my friends really know about me, and therefore I want to tell you guys about them as well. So I'm not going to ramble because this might be a long video, so let's get started. Fact number 1. My initials actually spell my name. So my full name is Samantha Alexandra Mead, which makes my initials S-A-M, so my initials spell Sam. Number 2. Something you guys might have guessed about me based on my YouTube name, but I was born in 1989, so that makes me 27 years old. I have a late birthday, so I haven't turned 28 yet, but I will be 28 before the year ends. I normally find that when I'm at work especially, people think I'm a lot younger than I am. Lately I've been getting 23 or 24, but it's even been so bad as to people guessing that I'm like still in high school or 18, 19 years old. Youth kind of runs in my family. My parents are both in their 60s and neither of them look like it. So I got really, really lucky with those genes and I don't appreciate it right now, but one day I'm sure I will. Number 3. Something else that you guys know about me because I mentioned it a few times, I have a severe cocoa powder chocolate allergy. But what you don't know is how I discovered the allergy. I had had chocolate my whole life. Every once in a while I would get like a little bit of like a tingle on my tongue or something like that. And we always just assumed maybe there was some sort of like a may contains peanuts or tree nuts or something that I was allergic to. We never knew because most of the chocolate I was eating up until that point was like M&Ms, which actually have a fairly low cocoa powder content to them. Then I went to my grade 12 prom. So I was 16 years old, go to my prom with my date, who was my boyfriend at the time, and we're having dinner, and I'm so picky I didn't eat the dinner, but I ate the dessert. The dessert was a raspberry sorbet rolled in pure cocoa powder. So I'm eating this, and it's fantastic. And all of a sudden, I get really, really sweaty and really pale and also flushed. And my tongue's getting scratchy, it's starting to swell up, I'm having a hard time breathing, I'm drinking anybody's water at the table that will give it to me. And I was sitting there and everyone's like, are you okay? Is everything all right with you? Are you going to be okay? And I said, you know, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm not fine. I got up and I ran to the bathroom and I was as violently ill as I have ever been. And then I was like laying on like a sofa that they had in the area and I was like shivering and like all the teachers were trying to comfort me and no one knew what was happening. There was some rumors that I had like overdosed on drugs or something. It was coming down off a bad high or that I was drunk, but I didn't even like touch alcohol until I was probably 18 years old. So obviously at 16 I hadn't gotten to that point yet, but they ended up calling the ambulance and sending me to the hospital and I was covered head to toe in hives. All the hospital did was give me Benadryl, but I spent the entire prom night in the hospital and that was how I discovered my chocolate allergy. Number 4. I have broken 3 bones in my body, not including toes. And I say not including toes because I'm so clumsy that I stub my toes quite often and they do break. Toes break very easily. But there's nothing you can do. You can't go to a doctor to get a toe reset. You kind of just have to let it set on its own. That's why I don't include them. So 3 bones that have required like medical attention. First one was when I was 3 years old. I was playing with my brother outside and I fell off the back deck and I broke my left arm. Second one was a lot more recently. It was when I was 24. I had just gotten my job where I am now, and I was hostessing, and I was running food out to people at the bar, and they were sitting at the bar on the other side of where like the dishwasher was, and the dishwasher spits out a lot of water. So I guess I was standing in a puddle and didn't really realize it, and I went to go walk down the steps off the bar and run the corner, and as I ran the corner, I slipped, both feet went out from under me, and when I tried to save myself, I ended up fracturing my radial head, which is like your elbow bone sort of thing. It's what lets you like rotate your arm and whatnot. So they sent me home and I went to the hospital, and the next day I showed up with like literally a full arm cast because you need to be so still when you do this break. And I was in the cast for about a week, I want to say, and then I had a sling on for 12 weeks until I got better. And to this day, I still can't really lift anything heavier than like a couple pounds like I used to be able to with that arm alone. And I also lost some of the range of motion in my arm as well. And the most recent break I have is from last summer. I was working and I finished up my shift, and my friend was on the patio with her boyfriend, and they were with a bunch of friends and they were drinking, and so I said, okay, I'll come sit with you guys for a minute. So I did, and then as we were leaving, the boyfriend, who's like a big guy, he was like 240 pounds, went to give me a hug goodbye. And I don't know if it was the way he picked me up or that he came at me from my side, or we also think that like my elbow was tucked into my side at the time. He picked me up and we heard this popping noise, and it kind of sounded like if you get a really good back crack and it ripples through your back. And he sort of looked at me and was like, tell me you've got like a bag of chips in your pocket. No bag of chips. He cracked my rib. So I am literally such a fragile person that somebody hugged me too tightly and cracked my rib. And that was like a 3 to 4 week heal time. It probably would have been less, but I kept pushing myself as hard as I did without a cracked rib. So it took a little bit longer to heal. Number 5. I am an extremely clumsy person. You can tell I fall a lot. I hit my head off a lot. I bruise very, very easily. It's why I don't play like serious extreme sports. Like even in hockey, as a defense player, like I always thought it was my job to be between the net and the person with the puck. So if a guy, like I played in a boys league at one point, if a guy would wind up to take a slap shot, rather than do the smart thing and get out of the way, I would stand there like a human target and be like, sure, hit me with the slap shot. And any hockey player knows that the time that you do that is always the one time it finds like the one gap in your padding and hits you. So I got hit twice with slap shots in like my hip bone, swelled up huge bruising, craziness. I fell at work twice over the past like 3 months, just slipped and fell, walking too quickly, whatever. I walk into things all the time. Super clumsy person. 6. Because I'm so clumsy, I also have an extremely high pain tolerance. Because I get hurt so often, a lot of things that should hurt me more, I don't react to them as well. Like they might still sting or whatever, but I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Because I get hurt so often, unless it's really, really, really serious, I don't react to it like I probably should, and it makes people think I'm a lot tougher than I am. But it's just because I hurt myself all the time. Number 7. I love to sing. I love to sing in the car, in the shower, in my room, wherever, but I hate singing in public. I can't do karaoke contests. I can't, really sing in front of friends or whatever unless they're really close friends. The best way to get me to sing in front of you is to, this sounds really bad, like get me drunk and put me in a car and blast the radio, and I will sing along to the radio like no one's business. But other than that, I hate singing in front of people. 8. My family has 2 dogs. So I do live at home still. I have lived away from home. I lived away from home when I was in university, but now I'm living at home. So we've got 2 dogs. They're both Shih Tzus. The older one is 15 years old. His name is Oscar. He's the cutest little thing. He actually got all his teeth infected, so he had all his teeth pulled. So all he's got is 2 little walrus tusks that come up from his bottom line. I can't get them right now because they're downstairs, but I will try and get them and insert video footage so you can see them. Okay guys, this is Oscar. Oscar, look! Oscar is 15. I hope you guys can see his little tongue because he has no teeth, so his tongue's always kind of hanging out. He's a little cuddle munch. He's a lot smaller than my other dog, but he likes to snuggle and he likes to be held. Right, Oscar? See his little tongue? He's a lot more mellow than my other dog just because he was the first dog we had, so he's used to being alone and she kind of doesn't like it as much, but that's my little Oscar poo. Right? The other one is Coco, and she is 13 years old, and she is like a little fluff bucket. She is a lot pudgier than he is. She's a lot fluffier than he is. So this is Coco, and Coco is the younger one of my 2 dogs. She's very tired. She's about to go to bed with my mom right now, and she is a little snuggler. But just so you guys can see, this is how big she is. She's pretty small. Coco, say hi. No? Yeah, she's tired. She just wants to go to bed. She wants to go back to my mom. She's about to go into her bed, and I went and stole her. So this is the younger one. She is the bigger one of my two dogs. Super cute. Love them both. They are related in some way. We got them from the same breeder, and I think like one of their dads is the other one's grandfather or something like that. So they are related, but it's like a distant relation. Number 9. I have gone to post-secondary school twice. The first time was straight out of high school. I went to Queen's University, which you guys can probably tell because I do have a lot of Queen stuff up in the background. I went for 5 years and I got a Bachelor of Arts degree in Classical Studies. So that is ancient history, archaeology, ancient language, and all of my electives were in more modern history. So like European history, Canadian history, US history, South American history, whatever, what have you, Chinese history. I did it all. And I wanted to work in a museum. I ended up not doing anything with that, which led me to go back to school. So I took a year off between. I graduated Queen's in 2012, and not right away, but I took a year off, and then I went to Durham College, and I now have a diploma in electromechanical engineering technology, which I am trying to find a job in my field right now using that diploma. 10. I have never had professional hair removal. This is kind of like a random thing. I was just thinking about it when I was looking at my eyebrows the other day when I was writing all of these facts down. I have never had like a bikini wax, a leg wax. I've never had any like facial hair removal, and I have never had anybody professional touch my eyebrows. And maybe you can tell that I haven't, that I've just kind of done them myself. Once I did make a boo-boo and I over-tweezed, and I kind of gave myself, like my dad called me Mr. Spock for like 2 weeks until they grew back. And you can still see that this one is a lot longer than this one. But since they grew back, the only time I touch my brows is just to get strays. Other than that, I leave them alone as much as possible because I'm pretty happy with the shape of my brows, and I also don't want to screw them up any further than they already have been. I 100% prefer the winter to the summer. I have an above average like core body temperature. I am always warm. I'm always like overheating. Any boyfriend I've ever had in the past has always made a comment that I'm like an electric blanket because I'm so warm all the time. So in the winter time, the cold weather sort of regulates my temperature, but in the summertime, there's nothing I can do. Once you get down to like shorts and a tank top, you can't go out in public naked. And even if I could, I still don't think I would be cool enough. So I'm always sweaty and overheated in the summer, which makes me really not like it. Especially in Ontario with the humidity that we get here. It is gross. I hate the summer. I actually have tendonitis in both of my rotator cuffs, and I have a partial tear in one. So if you don't know what a rotator cuff is, it's basically like the group of muscles and tendons that surround your shoulder joint and keep it in its socket, like keep it where it's supposed to be. I don't know how I did this. It's been something that's bothered me for years and years and years, and I just saw a doctor about it, I think last summer, because it was getting out of hand, where if I lay on my shoulder funny, it clicks and it makes popping noises. Or if I fall or reach too high or something, a lot of times my shoulders will pop out of their natural position, and they do go back in, but it's quite painful. And this comes along with that pain tolerance things. This literally happens to me at least once a week. So I don't notice it as much. I've just become accustomed to it. But if it gets a lot worse, like if I don't start doing physiotherapy, the doctor said I was going to have surgery on my shoulder, which would suck. For as talkative and outgoing of a person as I am right now, I was really, really shy and kind of reserved until I got my first job. So my first job was at McDonald's, and it forced me to talk to people. And then I moved away from home when I went to university, and that made me come out of my shell even more, to the point that I am now, because you have to meet new people, and it's not the same people that you grew up with as a kid, and you're putting yourself out there and you're on your own. So until then, I was really, really, really quiet. I know that's hard to believe, but it's true. I have 0 tattoos, but I really, really, really want one. I was in BC this past summer, and I climbed a mountain, and it changed my life, and I really want just like the top outline of a mountain on my ribs. I will get it. My mom really, really doesn't want me to have a tattoo, and I promised that until I moved out of her house, I would refrain from getting one, but I am going to get one. It's just a matter of time. Number 15. I have got like an uncomfortably like crazy obsession with penguins. I love them. As I'm saying this to you, I have a penguin here. I have another penguin here. There's penguins everywhere in my room. They're my favorite animal. I'm obsessed with them. This thing too, it's funny. I went to a hockey game and you were supposed to take these penguins and after the first period, I think everyone was supposed to throw them on the ice and get the closest to the logo as is humanly possible. And I refused to let anyone throw my penguin because I wanted to keep him. Obsessed with penguins. It's gotten to a point where it's just out of control. 16. I have to be multitasking at all times or I get really, really bored. So this is like whether I'm at work, whether I'm at home, I cannot just sit and like watch TV or watch a movie. I have to be doing something else, whether it's like a Sudoku puzzle or, you know, when I was in school, I couldn't even just study without doing anything else. I had to study while listening to music, while watching TV in the background. I need background noise. I need to be constantly stimulated or I get bored and I fall asleep. I am very afraid of heights and of like the open ocean, but not so much that I let it control my life. So the heights thing, I made myself climb mountains when I was in BC. I also try and rock climb because it's really good exercise for me and it works a lot of like the upper body muscles that I have no strength in as of right now. Same thing with the open ocean. I am very afraid of like sharks. And having said that, that first day that we were on the beach in the Dominican, there was a shark on the beach like swimming around and I was like, oh great, like that's gonna be good. But I try not to let it control my life. Like I know the chance that I'm gonna get attacked by a shark is like less than like getting in a plane crash or something ridiculous like that. I try not to let it control my life, but the fear is there and it's just something that I've gotten under control over like years and years. However, and this brings me to my next fact, number 18, I have an irrational fear of spiders and I can't get over it. When I was in like high school, I had a bio book that had a big spider on it. I had to get someone to copy out the page for me because I can't touch the picture of the spider. If spiders come up in a movie, I automatically pick my feet up off the floor. No matter how small or how big they are, like I can't face them. If I know that there's a spider in my room and it doesn't get like moved out of the room or killed or something, I will not go to sleep. If somebody even talks about spiders and then like touches my shoulders or something, I will panic. It is irrational. I can't handle it. Number 19, I hate slow walkers. I don't hate a lot, well, I do hate a lot of things, but like that's probably my biggest one. And it was a problem when I was like in high school or when I'm in the mall. Those people that kind of just like saunter, and especially when it's like groups of people and they're standing like 4 across and I'm like, I can't get by you. Like I walk with a purpose. Everybody at work always says I look like I'm in a panic or a hurry because I'm constantly like moving a lot faster than everyone else, because I feel like if you're going to get from point A to point B, you should do it as fast as you can, unless you're like on a walk for scenery or bird watching or something like that. Like don't saunter, don't get in my way, leave me a gap I need to get through. I cannot work in clutter or a mess. However, my room is a disaster. So when I'm at work, I need things to be put away where they belong. I need my space to be organized. I need it to be clean and wiped down. But at work, like if I showed you my desk right now, it is just chaos. I call it organized chaos because for the most part, I do know where everything is. But yeah, can't work in clutter, can live in clutter. I am a lucid dreamer. If you don't know what that is, it basically means that you not only dream extremely vivid dreams, but you're aware that you're in a dream state and you have some level of control over the dream. So I could be having a dream and then get woken up abruptly for something and be like, I really want to go back into that dream. And I can lucid, like make myself go back into that dream. The same place, pick up where I left off. It is awesome if I'm having a good dream. It sucks if I'm having a nightmare. But the thing is that as a lucid dreamer, like if you're in a nightmare and you're panicked or something like that, the second you wake up, you know it was a dream. Because you were aware the whole time that it was a dream, it doesn't panic you as much as if you were unaware that you were in a dreaming state. At number 22, I have got 2 older siblings. I have an older brother. He is 30. You guys have seen him. He was in one of my Loot Crate videos. And I have an older half sister. She is 42, I think. 42 or 43, I think. She's 15 years older than I am. She is just my mom. She's not my dad, so she is my half sister. 23, I look more like my sister and her 2 kids, so my nieces, than anyone else in my family. You guys saw my brother and I, we don't look very alike. We have the same body type more or less, but other than that, we don't look very alike. I don't look like either of my parents. I don't really look like a lot of people in my family, but my sister and I you can tell we're sisters, and my nieces are growing up to be spitting images of me. Number 24, I always have to sleep with a blanket or a comforter on. It's funny because I say like I hate heat, but no matter how hot I am, like it has to be covering some part of my body. So even if it means my whole body's out and it's just like over a part of my leg, I have to have a blanket touching me in some way, shape, or form. Even if it's super hot, like I'll turn a fan on and then put a blanket over me. Number 25. Another thing you guys know about me, I am a die-hard Habs fan. I love the Montreal Canadiens, but I am deep in Maple Leaf territory. I live 40 minutes outside of Toronto. Almost all of my friends are Leafs fans. Makes it a little uncomfortable, especially at work. I have to wear Leafs t-shirts and sweaters anytime that the Leafs play. It's just the way that my work is. They want to support the most local team, which is great. And the Leafs are the most local team. It hurts my soul a little bit that I have to wear it, but thankfully during the playoffs right now, they play on opposite nights, so I don't feel like I'm totally betraying my team by wearing Leaf stuff. But anytime the Leafs play and they lose, I will be really happy about it. And people are like, well, then why are you wearing the shirt? And then I have to say like, oh, you know, because I have to. They're not my team. And everyone's like, wait, who's your team? And I try not to tell people as much as possible because people really, really don't like that here. Number 26. I love to make greetings cards. I make my own like birthday cards and Christmas cards. I actually wish I had a couple out for you, but I didn't think it through. The cards that I gave Nicole Fisher in our swap were all handmade by me, but I am in no way artistic. I cannot draw to save my life. The only reason my cards look good is because they are stamped images that I'm coloring in. Great colorer, no good at drawing. That is my brother's skill. Number 27. No matter what I'm doing, no matter what the occasion is for, if my mom is baking something, particularly cupcakes, she always makes me decorate the cupcakes. I'm going to try and insert like a picture here of some of the cupcakes that I've done. I did a bunch of really cool ones for Super Bowl a couple years ago. So I don't know why I'm not artistic at all, but for some reason I have like super skills in like making really nice icing and like creating like shapes and stuff out of melting candies. I don't know what it is, where it came from, but yeah, I love to do that, but my mom will always make me do it no matter what. If she volunteers to bake something, I know that I'm going to be involved. My parents have lived in this house, the same house, since I was born, since before I was born. And I have lived here my whole life except for when I went away to university, and still I would still come back here on like weekends and summers and that kind of things. So same house for, how old am I? 27 years, 28 years. It's a good house. And I'm pretty sure like they want to downsize because it is a 4-bedroom house, but they're going to wait till my brother and I move out. I have never drank coffee in my life, and I have only ever had energy drinks in drop shots. This is because I have a super high level of energy as it is, and it is a running joke at work that people don't give me excess sugar and don't give me coffee or energy drinks or Red Bulls because I will be bouncing off walls, and nobody wants that. But that leads me to number 30. I am addicted to pop. So if I don't have at least like a Coke or a Dr. Pepper or something throughout the day, I get seriously bad headaches because I'm so addicted to, I don't know if it's the caffeine or the sugar in it, but I've tried to wean myself off of it, and no matter what, like I just can't. As long as I've got like even like a half of a pop a day in my system, I'll be okay. So I've been able to like cut back, but I can't wean myself off completely. I am obsessed with stars and celestial bodies. I love to stargaze. I love to look up and try and find where the constellations are. I love astronomy. I love when there's meteor showers. I don't know why, but I'm absolutely obsessed. My all-time favorite movie is Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It is an older movie. If you've never seen it, it is hilarious. It is British humor at its best. It's not everybody's thing, but if you like a more like intelligent kind of humor that makes you think about some of the jokes, you will really, really like the movie. I touched on this a little bit earlier, but I'm an extremely picky eater. Like I eat like a child. So I like chicken fingers and pizza and french fries and what else? Hot dogs and like all that kind of stuff, but I will not eat like steak or salmon or like anything like that. I don't know why. My parents said that when I was like a baby I would eat anything, and then all of a sudden when I was able to decide what I could eat for myself, I just stopped. I just stopped liking the things that I used to like and started deciding that I would eat like a child, and I've stuck with that ever since. Number 34. I believe that bad things always come in threes. The reason I believe this is because there was one summer where I think I got in like 3 car accidents. Not all of them were my fault. Most of them were pretty minor. Just one serious one, but it's one of those things where when one bad thing happens, I kind of anticipate that within the next like brief period of time, 2 more bad things are going to follow it as well. Number 35. I love cars, but I know nothing about them. So I am obsessed with like the Camaro ZL1. It is my dream car. I want it so badly. My dad says I don't need it because I have a lead foot when I drive, and he doesn't want me to get anything with more horsepower than I already have. I have a Corolla. It has no horsepower. But my dad always had sports cars growing up. My dad loves cars. I take him to the auto show when it comes around in Toronto every February. I used to go down to Mosport or Mosport, whatever you want to call it, in it's like just outside Bowmanville, I think, and watch the races with my friends. I love cars, but I don't know anything about like how they really work. I think, I don't know for sure, that I am the only girl that I know who did not like the movie The Notebook. I watched it when I was in university, and it took me 3 or 4 sittings to get through because I kept falling asleep. Like, I would put it on and be like, out. Then I'd put it on a little bit before I fell asleep, out. No matter what, it just like, I couldn't stay awake for it to save my life. And to this day, I have never tried to rewatch it because I wasn't that into it. But everybody always talks about how great this movie is, and I'm just like, meh, I didn't really like it that much. My favorite place in the entire world is Cape Sunion, and it is in Greece. Again, I will try and insert a picture or something somewhere here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I went there when I was 16. It is a cliff with the Temple of Poseidon on top. It is absolutely gorgeous. In Greek mythology, it was said that King Aegeus stood on top of this cliff every day waiting for his son to return. His son was Theseus. If you're familiar with Greek mythology at all, he went to what's that island? Crete, the island of Crete, and he went to go and slay the Minotaur, and he had told his father that when the ship comes back, if the sails are black, I didn't make it. If the sails are white, I'm coming home safe to you. And he made it through. He killed the Minotaur. He was on his way back, but he was so excited that he forgot to change the color of his sails. So his father saw black sails, and he leapt into the ocean, and into the sea, and that is where the sea, the Aegean Sea, gets its name from. A little bit of history there for you guys. I never would have made it through either college or university without napping, but I don't nap like normal people. Like, I cannot power nap. My naps are like micro sleeps. Like, if I don't nap for like a solid 2 hours, I will wake up just like angry and grumpy and like more tired than when I went to sleep. I need like a serious like couple hour nap just to refresh myself, and then I can keep going. I try not to nap anymore because it screws your sleep cycle up so much, but like I never would have made it through any of my like post-secondary education without napping. 39. I am not a jumpy person. I don't scare easily. That means like I used to love to go to Wonderland's Halloween haunt, and the people would jump out at you and I would laugh. Same thing, we did Casa Loma Legends of Horror this past October, and all of the friends that I was with were like jumping, and I was just like laughing hysterically because I thought it was so funny. Same thing, my boyfriend is really jumpy, so every once in a while, like, he'll, like, go to the bathroom. When he comes out, I'll, like, jump out at him from behind a wall. He tries to do the same for me, and I just always can sense that he's gonna do it, so it doesn't scare me. But yeah, so I don't scare very easily, but, like, scary movies do kind of freak me out a little bit. Number 40. When I was a kid, my dream job was that I wanted to be a professional face painter at Canada's Wonderland. Maybe that's why I'm so obsessed with makeup now. Maybe that's, like, a residual thing. But yeah, that was what my dream job was. I used to be really musically inclined. So as a kid, I played the piano, and then when you go into like grade 7 or 8, at least in my area, in my curriculum, you have to pick up an instrument of some sort. So I played the clarinet, I played the saxophone. Everybody that I know plays the recorder when you're like in grade 6 or something like that. I had my background in piano. I played the percussion for a little while. Like I took drum lessons, and then I took singing lessons throughout the beginning, like the end of my elementary school and the beginning of my high school, and I was in vocal classes in high school. But I still hate singing in front of people. But yeah, so I used to be really musically inclined, and the only thing that I still do now is sing. I love to organize things, but for other people. So I loved, at work I used to have a job, like not the current job I'm in now, but I used to have a job where it was literally just filing papers. And I redid their whole filing system, and I got such a kick out of it. Also, when I was a kid, I used to like to go to my friends' houses and like reorganize all of their stuff, like their clothes, their makeup, that kind of stuff. I don't do it for myself now. I'm super unorganized, and I really should be better about it. And I've like, every time I start and I'm like, yeah, I'll get better with it, I kind of just drop it off and forget about it. But yeah, I love organizing things for other people and not so much myself. The most famous person that I have ever met, probably the only famous person I have ever met other than like a few NHL players here and there, when I was 13 years old in grade 9, I went to England and France for the 60th anniversary of when the Allied troops landed on the Normandy beaches, so D-Day, and I met the Queen of England at the ceremony on Juno Beach. I love, love, love to wear high-heeled shoes. I have a ton of them. I don't know if you guys have ever seen, but like sometimes my camera shifted more that way, and in the closet is like just a stack of shoe boxes. That's all of my high heels. I love wearing them, but I never find like a reason or an occasion to wear them, because when I do go out with friends and stuff, either we're dancing so I want flat shoes on, or nobody else is wearing heels and I don't want to be the only one and I don't want to be overdressed. So I never wear them, but I love to wear them. I find them so comfortable. I have fallen arches on my feet, so it forces an arch in them, and I actually like, if I go to a wedding and I have heels on, my heels will be higher than most other people's, and by the end of the night I will be the only one that still has shoes on. Number 45, my favorite holiday, and I don't know if this counts as a holiday, is Canada Day. I love to get dressed up in red and white and go watch the fireworks. I love to work. I love wearing my Canada stuff. I will always represent that I'm Canadian. I am so proud that, and I know like it was literally just I was born here, but I am so proud of like everything that our country stands for and all of like the good reputation that we have throughout the world. When I was in grade 9 and I went to France, at first some people thought we were American and they were like, you know, really negative towards us. The second you say you're Canadian, everyone's like, oh, okay, never mind. We literally had people in that village in Normandy where the Canadian troops went and liberated them, like hugging us and thanking us just for being Canadian. It is the most amazing feeling. Super, super proud to be Canadian, so I love Canada Day. Number 46, I love to do puzzles. And sometimes I wonder if there's such a profession as like being a professional puzzle maker. People don't like doing puzzles, like I'm talking like jigsaw puzzles. People do not like doing them with me because I'm that person that like you'll be holding one piece and you'll be trying to find where it goes for like 10 minutes and you'll finally be like, okay, I'm not going to do this piece anymore, I'm moving on. And you put the piece down and I'll pick the piece up and put it in right away. Or like in the time that you do one piece, I'll have done like 5 or 6 pieces. Like I'm that person. I don't know what it is. Just my brain works to spatially visualize where a piece goes, where it might fit, what the pieces it'll fit with look like, and I will always find it. I've been doing them for forever. I find them super relaxing. I love puzzles. When the book, I want to say, did I read the book first? Yeah, when the book The Da Vinci Code came out, I actually wanted to be a symbologist. Like I thought that was a real job. That's like Robert Langdon's job throughout those series. I thought that was a real job, and that was something I wanted to do because I loved history so much. And ultimately I did end up in like a history field in university, so I guess like kind of I went that way. But yeah, that job doesn't exist, so yeah. Number 48. I touched on it a bit when I talked about Monty Python and the Holy Grail being my favorite movie. I love British humor. I love dry, sarcastic, intelligent humor, but I hate like stupid humor. So like I don't watch a lot of Will Ferrell movies. I don't watch like Superbad. I've never seen any of the Anchorman movies. It's just not my thing. I don't find it funny. I prefer humor that actually makes you like think about it and, you know, that requires some level of intelligence. And that's not to bash anybody who does like those movies. Like we all like different things. That's okay, but it's just not my thing. Which brings me to number 49. when most people meet me, they think that I am a super big, like, I don't want to swear on my channel because I don't know how much young viewers I get, but like a bitch. I've had a couple, because I have such a dry sense of humor, and as a hockey player, especially when I used to play with the boys, you get chirped a lot, you get made fun of an awful lot. So I'm very, very quick with comebacks when people say something, and because I'm so dry and monotone and sarcastic all the time, if you don't know me well enough, you don't know that I'm joking. So I've had situations where, like, I will be, and I'm particularly bad towards guys because I think that they can take it more, where, like, I will say things to guys and I'll be fully joking and they'll be taking full offense to it. And I'm like, I don't mean offense, I was joking. Like, I'm so sorry. And then after a couple more times hanging out with me and getting to know my personality, they're like, oh, okay, you're not actually as bad as I thought you were, but I did used to think that you were, like, a horrible person. That happens to me quite a bit. The last fact about me, and it's something I've mentioned a couple times, especially in my haul videos, I am a stress shopper. When I get stressed out about anything, I like to go and shop. It doesn't matter what I'm stressed about. Like, I've been very, very, very stressed out lately about a lot of things going on in my life. I'm not going to bore you guys with all the facts. I'm trying to come out of it. But I've been super, super stressed out and freaking out, so I keep finding myself, like, going back to the mall. And this accounts for all of my crazy collections that I have. So my makeup collection is because I stress shop. My shoe collection, my hat collection, which you can see on top of there. What else? I've got, like, a lot of bathing suits. I literally have, like, 12 pairs of sunglasses. So many clothes. Like, I have too many clothes. I'll never wear them all, but I still can't part with them. My card making stuff. All of the big collections of stuff I have is because I stress shop and I just can't help myself. So those are the 50 facts about me. I hope this helped you guys get to know me a little bit better. If you guys have any other questions or anything you want to know about me, feel free to ask me. I'm pretty much an open book. I'll tell you whatever you want to know to an extent. Like, I won't tell you, like, what my social insurance number is and stuff like that because that's risky. But, like, for the most part, if you guys want to know anything about me, feel free to ask. If you guys like this kind of a video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys next time. Bye.